Hello everybody, take two. I am so sorry about the abrupt ending of the last video, but this is part two of that video due to the fact that for some reason my camera turned off. I have it in a position now where I can actually see it so that if it does happen again, I can turn off and restart. But I had gotten so far into this that I didn't want to redo the whole thing. So, continuing on, this is the current item we are working on, which was in the video just prior to this one, which happens to be, oopsie, this one here, which did have all the ephemera in it that I've removed so that I could show it to you all. But you'll see it in the video previous to this one, which I will put a few other things in it so that you can see. It actually might be right here in my ephemera box because I can't imagine where else I would have put it. I don't want to spend too much time looking for it, but I'll just put a few pieces of things in there so that you can see the different things that, you know, could potentially fit in there. Some pictures. I had a little booklet, possibly a journaling card. Let's see what else. Some more journaling cards could fit in there. Sentiments, words, all kinds of things could fit in there because it folds up flat. And if you wanted to, you could put a double-sided paper clip on it, which I'll be making some of those in my next video once I return back from my vacation. You could do something like this. I'm sorry. Or I have mini clips like this, which would be absolutely adorable if you wanted to clip it, say, to a page in your journal, like so, and maybe put a little ribbon there so it peeks out the top. Or what I've done in the past is simply, let's see if I have a pocket big enough for it in here. Well, let's just say there's a pocket here. You could slide it right in the pocket and not use a clip at all. And still the receiver would be able to pull it out, open it up very easily. And you have your little pocket inside a pocket. Or, like I said, attached to a page that simply peeks out at the top, and maybe you could add some ribbon or nothing at all. Okay, so let's continue. So I have, oops, I think I put my picture that I'm going to use, which when I did have that break, I actually found a different picture that I'm going to use for the front of this. And I will pull it out right now, if I can find her. And my distressing came in, which is, I actually really love it. It's called Tattered Rose. And as you can see on this picture, maybe, I did lightly put it around the frame of this picture that I had. I didn't want to cut off the white edges because it has this on the bottom of it. So, and it's still got the pink, and it's just very, very sweet. I hope that you can see that. So let me just turn this light off because it looks like it's a little bit bright, and I'm going to actually alter my blinds a little bit so that it's not so bright. We were going to have a thunderstorm here, but it looks like we aren't. There we go, much better. I don't know what happened to the video. It just boom, it ended. So where we were before, I believe, was when the video ended, because I did watch it before I uploaded it. We had just finished covering the sides. And what you want to do to the for the bottom is exactly the same things as you did. Oh, here they are. They're inside here. These are all the little pieces of ephemera, the little tags that I've made that will go inside our new one, which is this one. Here's the one that I've already made last year. So here are all the ones that will go inside our new one. So where we were was, I believe I had just finished putting on one of these sides and letting you all know to make sure that you go as close to the top so that you don't cut any of your sides or your bottom. Okay, so I've gone ahead and glued the bottom on, and I've refolded the gussets to our bottom of our paper bag. And now all I'm going to do is take my photograph that I've chosen, and you can choose anything. It doesn't have to be a Christmas or, a Christmas picture. It could be, oh gosh, really anything. I have, you could put a bird, you could put flowers, you could do, well, right now, most everything I have in my ephemera box is Christmas. So I really couldn't show you anything else, but you get the point. So I'm just going to place her here, and then I'm going to place some lace underneath here. Now I've pulled out some of my vintage lace that I've purchased over the years, and I have chosen this particular one, which I am going to place right along here, but not until I place her on. So I'm going to do that now. And I hope that you all are still having a great day. I'm just going to hold this down with this. I really hope that you're still all having a great day. I am, actually, even with the little, problem with my video. I'm getting there. When we do get to Vermont, my son-in-law is going to help me with the storage in my iPad. I've deleted just about everything because I've never used it except for videoing. So I'm not quite sure what the problem is. But I checked it before I started this video, and I have plenty of space, so this video should be good to go. I checked it before the last one, and I thought it was fine, but evidently it wasn't, so in any event. So I'm just going to place this on here where I think I want it, which is right about there. That looks about the middle. And you could even put maybe, a little eyelet here, put a little dangle. I mean, there's just so many options you could do with this. It really is very versatile and just adorable. I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces of ephemera or embellishments that I make. And I've done so many different things with them. I'll actually show you one of them really quick if we have time, because I do want to do one more piece of ephemera in this video. And like I said, if I could upload the videos and hold them in my iPad, or figure out a way to upload them to YouTube, which I might be able to do, I might be able to have them preset to be able to video while I'm gone. If not, I'll be back while I'm on vacation, maybe to say hello or just show you where we are during our road trip, which I can't even explain how excited both my husband and I are. We have had quite the 2 years, and we are ready. what I am doing, for those of you who might not know, is I had a little bit of glue residue there. And all I do is I take my white eraser. I have another white eraser here. I have a gum eraser that I use in here as well. Just put those away. But it takes your glue residue and actually your ink. If you happen to get ink on something that's too dark, if you take your eraser, a white one, and go over it, it will lighten up that ink for you. So there we go. So now I've decided on this lace because I really thought that it was pretty. And I'm trying to decide whether I want that ruffle or not. I also have a cream color, which I might like better. It's just not as wide, which is fine. I actually have another cream color that's wider. Oh yes, I'm gonna go ahead with the cream color. Let me find the other end to this. Oh, that's not it. And what I do to get it flat is, if I don't want the ruffle, I will just take and snip this, but I always keep this for ties. So now I have to decide, do I want a ruffle or do I want it to lay flat? Here's something that's flat and here's something that has the ruffle. And I think, because just to have something different, because I may use both in the journal, I'm going to go ahead and keep that ruffle today. I really think that's adorable. And I think it really goes well with the picture as well. I'm going to keep that ruffle. I think that looks really sweet. So all I'm going to do is snip this piece off. Definitely keep that piece. And I'm going to go right underneath here. I'm going to find out where I want to glue that. I have this glued right about there. So I suppose I want to glue it right where that is. Yeah. And you know, I think I may add a few little buttons on that edge as well. So I will keep the ruffle, and then I can always just kind of, you know, push that ruffle down with a little bit of glue and add maybe some baby buttons. I also collect vintage baby buttons and antique baby buttons that used to be on baby clothes. That's the other thing I'm very excited about. My brother lives in Vermont on the Canadian border. It's called the Northeast Kingdom, and he's been collecting lots of things for me for about 2 years, as he has seen them very, very inexpensively. And he's just been a dear and has just collected. So I have lots of things to pick up without even having to stop and go to a shop. So yeah, that's what it's gonna be. No more auditioning. Let's just put it down. I'm actually going to put my glue along the edge of the lace on the right side. Which happens to be that side, so this is the wrong side. I'm going to put my glue along the edge of the lace so that I know where to place it on my item. And that looks about right there. Let me just get it lined up and pressed down so that edge is underneath. Again, I hope you're all having a good day, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for understanding my technical difficulties. I do hope that you all understand my little warning, technical difficulties. Watch the next video. I think you'll all get to it eventually because I'll likely post my mistake. I always do. I have no shame in my current situation with my ability or my inability to do perfect videoing. My crafting is quite joyful, but I do really, really enjoy this process because I feel like I really have my girlfriends here. So there we go, all set. I'm going to just cut this a little bit long just so that I can glue this down and have it right. I'm just going to glue this a tiny bit long. And we'll lift this up. And do watch that first video because I do a walkthrough of the book that we're doing and where I've gotten to date. And I do show some more ephemera that I've made or have pulled from my ephemera box, my idea box in my idea book. I have both an inspiration book, which is huge and falling apart because it's too heavy. And I also have an ephemera idea box, inspiration box, where I keep, bigger items. This actually fits inside a pocket in my book, but my book is, I really didn't make my book big enough. Actually, I made it a little bit too big, so it's really heavy. And I made smaller ones for ideas that are much smaller, which that's in pretty good shape. Oh, and I'll show you. Well, no, I can't show you. It's not right here. I'm working on, I took an old book that had a linen cover and I put a new cover on it. And oh my goodness, it came out so nice. I'm really excited about using it. I'll show you that at another time, on another day. I did it a while ago because I was going to make another ephemera book out of it, but it came out so good, I think I'm probably going to use it as a journal book, as a journal cover. So right now I'm just giving this an opportunity to dry because it did seep a little bit along the edge here, and I want to be able to get that off with my white eraser. I don't want this to close down. And if you wanted to, you very, very well could put another piece of lace on this side so that you would have the double lace, on both sides. Because when you open it, then you'd have the lace on both sides. But I might or I might not do that. For now, I'm not. But it's just another idea that I just actually thought of while I was pressing this down and waiting for it to dry. I'm just going to cut this excess off. And I'm going to cut the excess off the bottom. These were my mother-in-law's. She would be 107 years old right now in heaven. I love them. I have one other pair that have the little bird on them, but I don't use them because they're pretty fragile. I do use them for sewing, for my slow stitch and my embroidery, but I don't keep them at my desk. I don't know how old those are, but she would be 107 now, so they're pretty old, but they're still working. They're just a little squeaky. I have to oil those. So I'm going to just take my white eraser, make sure this glue in here is dry, which it is, and I'm just going to take off any residue that might be in there. And it came right off. And now I'll take our ephemera, open it up. Here's the inside, outside, and like I said, I mean, there's a ton here, and you could fit a ton more, and it will still lay flat, because as you can see, look, it's barely touching the bottom. Closes up beautifully. And let's put this on a page just so that you can see it. Where's my book? Now that I have a bunch of lace all over the place. Well, we'll just use this because, oh, here it is. So sorry, I pushed it way over the other side. My pin back in my glue. Everything seems to be running fine. Grab a page, put her in here. She's full of ephemera and nice goodies. Something you could put it in a Happy Mail for sure and mail with no problems. I mean, you might want to use some flat lace. That's up to you. I may even flatten this down a little bit. I'm not used to the ruffles, but I do like them, and it is the vintage style. There you go. So can y'all see that? Darling, I love it. So there's 2 more pieces. And I'm going to put those over here because I think I still have time to show you one more piece of ephemera, which shouldn't take long at all. And that is something that will look similar to, let's see if I can find one. It's going to look similar, but it will be longer. It will look similar to this. Okay, now I've got this little rosebud here on a bulb pin. You open it up. I have just this gentleman and his wife near a Christmas tree. I put a little bit of lace here. And my tag pulls out by this piece of lace here. And I just put a little piece of lace here. This has been just all crumpled up and placed on there. Or I may have put that through my embossing machine. And this is just crumpled up. Stitched around it. Made the tag. And it simply slides in here. Decorated this part, just collaged it, put a little bit of lace, and you have a nice sweet little pocket. Again, you can put it inside a pocket, you could put it on your journal, you could take a paper clip, a double-sided paper clip, and again, paper clip it onto a page this way, paper clip it onto a page this way. I mean, very versatile. So easy to make. Let's start. So I've chosen some items. Oh, here's a longer one. This is a different one I made. Now this is a book page. Believe it or not, I took it out of a children's book. This up here I collaged. It's all from different things. There's a little house I cut out. Here's some snow I cut out. I cut out this little girl. I put this little paper I put through my embossing machine. I had a blast with this one. Here is some very old tatting. And then the tag is missing. And then here is the back. Again, from a child's book page. Well, no, this might not be a child's book page. This just might be a collage. But this here is definitely, I had collaged from a child's book page and made a masterboard. I scanned it and saved it. This might be the same collage board. I don't remember. I made it last year. So yeah, so that's what we're going to make now. I really hope that you stand by and make it with me. So all we're going to do is, I've chosen my paper for the base, which will be this one. It's got some writing on it, Italian writing. And I think I'm going to take this edge off. So let me do that really quickly. I didn't even notice that edge when I pulled it to do the base. And we're still in frame. And we're at 26 minutes, so we're good. Here we go. And it has a little bit of a white edge here. I'll pull that off as well while we are at it. And for this one, I want it longer. This one, oops, this one obviously is shorter. So to get this size, you would fold it this way. But I want the longer one, so we're going to take our 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, simply fold it like this. Okay. Meeting your edges. Didn't do so well on meeting my edge there. And I don't know who's doing that, but let me turn it off. I am so sorry. I did it the last time and should have. There we go. Somebody's messaging me on my phone. So, this is a real fun piece. Very versatile, can use it in any kind of album. And that's what I've tried to do through this whole series, was not just make the ephemera for a Christmas, you know, something you can only use for Christmas, but something that you could use in any journal, for any reason, or for any Happy Mail. So now what I'm going to do is, just let me check and make sure. Just want to be positive on this. How I did this one. It's been a while. Okay, so what I did was, I folded it up like so. Right. So I'm going to fold it up about that length. You can fold it. I'm not measuring it. I'm not going to give you any measurements because that's totally up to you. Then I'm going to fold this down this way. I'll probably have to trim that, but that's okay. I'm going to trim it anyway. Okay, so what you have now is your base like this, okay? But we're going to make this How did I do this now? Oh no, I left this long. I brought this down. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me start over. So this is how we're going to do it. Now, we just leave this. Don't fold this up because I'm leaving it long. And I want to leave this going this way, so I'm going to bring this down here, like so, because this is going to be our top. We're going to glue this, okay? Because we're going to have our opening up here, so that when we open up our flap, we have our pocket, okay? So what we're going to do now is let me just recheck this one more time. Right. So now what I want to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to cut it a little bit below where I folded it, okay? So I'm just going to take my scissors and I am going to make a cut right about here. And that's going to be the opening to my pocket once I glue it shut. Okay? So there you go. That's going to be my top. This is going to get glued down right here because I don't want to compromise, you know, when I fold it. Then this is going to get glued. So let me do that now. Here it is. And I'm going to go right along the edge because I just want to keep that real estate in there for my tag. You can decorate this as much as you want or as little as you want. I went crazy, obviously, because that's what I do. I actually think some of those were design team projects. This original idea came from Wendy at Wendy's Journal Adventures. And it was at least 2 years ago, this pocket idea. The rest of it, this idea right here was her idea. All of the rest of it was just something I did just because. You know, it's my own spin on it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm not going to cut it off. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to take my little punch here, and it might be different than the one I just, you know, the one I did a year ago, but this is how I'm doing it today. And I'm just going to go in here. Hopefully it's in the middle. And I am going to give that a punch. And I'm going to squeeze this back up. And I am going to glue that back down because it's not going to compromise that at all. So I'm just going to fold this up. Give this a little bit of, you know, because I cut along there, so I just want to give it a little straightening up. And just put a little bit of glue. Take it, press it back down. Make sure you don't close up your pocket. And there you go. Oops. This actually I should use my bone folder for this part. If it was right here, I would. I'll use my finger. There's no glue seeping out. but I do want it to be nice and flat. And I'm just going to go along my edges here. This one didn't need glue. And did I glue the bottom? I don't even remember. Yes, I did. In fact, I did. Now I'm just going to take my scissors. As you can see, there's a little white part there. For some reason, it didn't get cut when I trimmed off the white when I printed it. So there we go. All set. Just want to try and get that bend out of there, which doesn't matter because the letter itself that I put it on has a crease there anyway. So there you go. There's your base. And we're going to fold that down like this. Now this is just a top. This doesn't really do anything. However, what I'm going to do, because I like it like this, do you see how it's not really square? I'm going to take my pencil, just because I like this design a little bit better than it coming down and it just being square over it so you can see the sides once you decorate it. I'm going to take my pencil and I make sure this is kind of in the middle. And if I can find my pencil, that video turning off kind of gave me a little bit of a fright, so I'm just going to take my pencil and I'm just going to, you don't have to use a pencil, you can just eyeball it, or you can use a ruler. I'm just, doing that for now. And all you want to do is take it, and you kind of want to, you don't want to go straight up. You kind of want to start over here at the corner and just go up like, sorry, wrong way. You want to kind of go up this way. Sorry, I may have just ruined that by going the wrong way. So you want to go this way, all right? And then when you get up here, just snip it, all right? And then over here, you want to go the same direction. So you want to go from this corner. Is that right? Hold on 1 second. Yes. So you want to go from this side, and you want to take it and go again. And you don't have to do this, but it does look a little bit nicer. Now I'm going to have to do it a little bit closer because I made that error, which is fine. It's absolutely fine. Anything can be fixed, and it can look beautiful once you're done. So there, that's what I mean by it not being so, this one I obviously did what I consider to be liking it much better. But once it's decorated, you may not even be able to tell. So I'm just going to get rid of my little scraps here. And I am going to take my next piece that I chose, and I am going to place it, how was I going to do this? I was actually going to do something like this on the front, but I actually really like that. So I think I will leave it just the way it is. And maybe just cut that and put that on the corner. And then I am going to take this top and put it up here. Which, if I do something like this, I could possibly make this a little bit less narrow, which doesn't really bother me, but it's not the real the way that I want it. You know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. So let me glue this here, because nobody will ever know. So let me just glue this here. And then I'll recut it the right way. Oh, have you ever done that? I have. Cut it the wrong way, especially when doing tags. I'm like, oh my goodness, after all those years of sewing, Cheryl. Check twice, cut once. Check twice, cut once. So I am going to simply put this here. Not right at the fold, because then that will kind of compromise that. I did get a little bit of glue there, but that's okay. How many minutes am I at? 40, and we're still rolling. Great. So I did that. I'm going to go back in here. I have to glue this flap down. I forgot to tell you all. So I'll do this. I am going to now take this and I am going to fold it down to where my crease is. And I'm going to have to use that rose inside there, which is fine. That's fine. That looks good. I like it. Love it, actually. Now what I'm going to do is see where my fold is here, and I am simply going to fold this to here. So that I can tear that off. That might get cut, that little rose, which is fine. It's fine, 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 fine. I have an idea. It's in my head. It'll be on paper and on the video very shortly. I hope this is all making sense. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming back. And I'm just going to take this and tear it. Then I'm going to put some glue here, because like I said, this just looks wonky to me. So we're gonna fix it. Anything is fixable. It's great. I'm glad I made this error, because now you can see nothing's perfect. Can't see any of my mistakes. Nobody can. Just straighten this out for you so you don't get a headache. I'm going to let that dry before I cut it. But as you can see, we still have our nice big envelope there. And I saw this there and thought, ooh, why not do something like this? Or something like this. Or, yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I am actually going to make this a pocket. Is it straight? Looks straight. I'm going to make it a pocket. I'm going to put that right there. Make sure it's centered, because it doesn't go side to side, which is fine. And I have now Just going to push that a little bit like I do, just because it gives you just a little bit ease to get things in and out. What I do is I kind of press the line there and just push it just a little bit. As you can see, possibly in the video, that's bowing just a little bit. See, it's kind of bowing like that. Or you could put gussets on the sides. But this is pretty easy if you have just a, a scrap. And then, just press along your bottom like this while the glue is still drying. And now you have, a way to have plenty of room in your pocket. But I'm not going to put her actually in the pocket. I'm going to put her outside. I'm going to put her inside a little bit. I'm actually going to pick this up so I can put her like so. Because when I cut this, I want her to show, but I still want that pocket. So let me get her glued and lift this up just a little bit so I can get her in there. She's so pretty. I love these pictures. And you could use your own black and white pictures too. Look through your stash. I bet you all have some. I know I do. I'm so fortunate. Here we go. I'm going to just sneak her in there. But I'm not going to put her, I'm going to put her pretty much over to the edge. I'm not going to put her all the way in like there. You know what I mean? So she becomes part of this and not, so people don't think that, she's to be pulled out. Here we go. Now what I'm going to do is, what do we have for time? Okay, almost done. Now, I'm going to take this, and rather than take any chances, I am going to use this to cut. No, I'm not. I just know already that I want to cut it this way and this way. Yes? Oh dear. Where's my long one? I'm going to wait a second. It's still kind of wet anyway. But the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to take something here. The back looks good to me. I like it. I was originally going to do something like this for the back, but I just like this stained old look. I really do. So I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to cover it. I am going to try and take my new Distress ink and just distress this a little bit. And put a little bit inside here because it's a little white. It's called Tattered Rose. And I have to be careful because I get so heavy-handed. Put that in there so that it's not so white. Go around here a little bit. And around here. That way people know that there's a tag in there. And let's see where else. I'm really enjoying this Tattered Rose. I think I'll go along the edge here. A little bit, just a little bit, because I can get carried away. That's why I stopped inking. But I do like the tattered rose, especially for this project. It's not real pink. I actually like it a lot. So there we go, so far. Here's just a temporary tag we can put inside. It says North Pole. I might even keep it, I don't know. But there's that. And that's closing fine. Now, let me see if I can do this right. Yes, I can. All right, so I'm gonna cut this way to that corner. And then on this side, I'm going to cut this way to this corner. And as you can see, oh, I need to do just a little bit more. And now, as you can see, it just gives it just a little bit more character, and you can see what's behind it. Let me just straighten this out a little bit. I mean, it looks okay. It just might be me. But I'm just gonna do this anyway. The other thing you can do is you can take and stitch this on your sewing machine. You know, if you wanted to. I was just thinking out loud before you go and you know, put any more decorations or what have you. The last thing I want to show you that we can do, which is so pretty, is I'm going to take a piece of my paper here that I've run through my embossing machine. You know how I have all this embossing machine paper around. The particular one that I'm using today is called Vintage Wallpaper. You can't get it anymore. I've searched everywhere because mine, it's not here, it's at my station, is, it's so worn, but I love it. It's got like, sort of like snowflakes. I'm just going to kind of do that so it's not so, and I'm just going to kind of rough these edges up a little bit and not have this look so straight. And then what I'm going to do is make this part of this picture as well. But I don't want to compromise that pocket, so I'm going to tear that right there. And I'm going to do something like this. And then let me see real quick. I have a piece of some paper here, which I do. Where is my folder? I'm sorry. I know that I do. My little bits and pieces and scraps and what have you. I'm going to take oh, here's a pink piece. I think I might use that instead of the white. The white's pretty stark. Oh yes. So let's see, you want to tear it this way. I don't know which pattern this is or which one I've done. It was in my scraps. I'm going to frame it just like that. And maybe, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Hold on one quick second. This just came to mind, so I want to try and use it if I have a piece. Oh, come on, I must. I don't throw it away. Let's see. I'm looking for some writing. Oh, no, that wouldn't be the right way, or would it? No, that wouldn't be the right way. Hold on. Hold on. I have another piece over here I can use. So what I'm going to do is tear this towards me so I don't have any white edge. This is just a French document of some sort that I think I got off of Graphic Fairies. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to crumple this up. What time am I at? Wow, this is a long video. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. If you want to watch, you can watch, or you can not. I'll put a picture of the finished project on my Facebook, or, you know, on the different sites so that you can see what we've made today. But what I do is I kind of crumple it up to get my oils in there and make it look kind of like it went through the embossing machine. Only because I have to do three, you know, things in thirds when I do a collage, and this is sort of like a collage, what I'm doing here. So we've got this little piece here of some French script. Now I'm not going to flatten that out very much. I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to place this here, along here, but I'm not flattening out very much. All I'm going to do is keep it kind of crinkled like that. I'm going to put some glue on it. Keep that little bit of an aged look. And of course I'm going to add some tatting and some lace, but I won't have time to do that on video. I'm pretty sure that you all know how to do that, and when you see the final project, the final one, when I do the flip through, I'll point it out again. So I'm just going to kind of push this over, but keep it underneath underneath here so it becomes part of this. I probably should have put that on last, but I wasn't thinking. And I'm just pushing this down. I'm not flattening it out. I'm actually making it more kind of crinkled. And there's not a lot of glue on it. I'm not getting any seepage. I just put a few dots and kind of spreading it around with my finger and flattening that down. So this is what your result is. Kind of, gives it that kind of aged look. And I'm basically just collaging this to give me my, my focal point, so that when you look at it or you open it up, it's, it's got some different, and I will definitely do something there. But here's our pink piece where I will use it as kind of a frame to frame her. And I've got this little piece of French paper here, and then this worn paper back here. What do you think? Oh, I wish you could all tell me. I like it. I'm going to do it. No more guesswork. I think I've held you all captive long enough. And not captivated, but captive. So put a little bit of glue on there. And I'm just going to frame her. Like so. Oh, so pretty. I really do like it. And I just thought this off of, as you can tell, pretty much the seat of my pants with this one. No planning. I like how that comes along. And the reason why is because I didn't pull out a lot of things. I only pulled out a few things. And I really think that that's key to most of us, if we only pull out a few things, you know, to do our creations. So for now, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to show you that this too can become a pocket, you know, for something if we want. I will continue on, finish decorating this. I may or may not decorate the back, but that's how you make this piece of ephemera. Slide it in a pocket, paper clip it to a page, clip it with a little, you know, bull clip, finish up your tag on the inside, make sure you put a pull on it, ink wherever you'd like, and that's about it for that piece of ephemera. So today, for both videos, we made this piece of ephemera and we made this piece of ephemera, which was sort of like this piece of ephemera and this piece of ephemera, which will eventually look like, you know, this will look more like this when I'm done. Okay? Sorry, goes this way. Okay? So I will put some pictures online. I thank you all so much for stopping by, for being my wonderful, wonderful followers and supporters. I ask you all today to be well, be safe, and God bless. Bye-bye.